Hi guys, welcome to another one of my videos. Now over the next few weeks or so, I will be doing a few how-to videos after I've had a number of requests. So my first video will be the new camera I've bought, a Panasonic HC V180, and I will now do the how-to basic setup for this camera. I'm a fairly lazy operator, so I basically try and get everything as automatic as possible. So the first thing we need to do is turn the camera on. This can be done by pushing the power button on the opening here, or just by opening up the viewfinder. And then when we open it up, we have some arrows on the side here. If we click left or right, it takes you through different menus. And we need the main menu button. Open up that. Now the setup for recording, let's go to record setup. And we come up with this first window. Now what I've got here, zoom mode, it has a few available zooms. Okay, so with the zoom mode, I just set it at iZoom 90. I find this is the best zoom. There's another one there for higher rating, 150, and another higher rating of 500, but that gets very distorted when you're taking long distance videos. So we leave it at iZoom 90. Return. The OIS I have set at active. The recording format, I've got it set at AVCHD, but you can also set it for the MP4. I use AVCHD in my editing program, and then I convert it to MP4 later. The record mode, I've got it, there's a few record modes there. I've got it set in 1080 50p, but you can go for the 1080 50i size as well. But this is the basic one I use. Then we have the next page. Pre-recording. Now the pre-recording mode is when it automatically takes about 3 seconds before you actually push the record mode. Once you push the record, it seems to have a memory that can record the first 3 seconds before that. Face framing is I've got set up for any faces that come up, it'll frame to that face. The hybrid OIS, that's the anti-shake system, I have that as on. And fade I have as off. I don't want movies fading in and out. I'll do that in post-edit. The next one, fade color. If you're having a fade, you fade to black, or there's other colors in there as well. Now the guidelines I've got set to off. The guidelines means that we have lines across the screen to sort of show you 2/3 a rule. The level gauge. Now the level gauge is a great system. It tells you whether your camera is horizontal or not. I have it set to off because I can always change the horizontal later in post-edit. But if you have it as on, there's a line across the page. I'll show you that. Exit. So there's a line across the page that tells you whether you're level or not. Let's just go back now, record setup. And then we have AGS. Now AGS, I'm not sure what it stands for, but if you have that switched on, when the camera goes upside down, it turns off. Backlight components. Telemacro, if you have telemacro on, it'll actually zoom in on a close-up with a lot more detail. So it's a much better system. I don't use telemacro, I have that set to off. Shooting guide. The shooting guide I've got set to on. The microphone, I've got the microphone set to zoom. You can have it set as a standard stereo mic, but I've got it set on zoom mic because if I'm doing close-up work, I use my lavalier mic, and if I'm doing far away work, it's good sometimes to pick up on the noises far away. It'll actually zoom in on the subject and pick up the noise from that zoomed area. And the next setup here, the mic level, I've got it set on auto. Like I said, I just like it sets itself in different environments. So that's the record setup. Now the camera setup itself, just quickly, I've got it set so the display goes off after 5 seconds. There's a way of setting the clock if you need to change your time. There's a world time if you change locations. You can say I'm no longer in this country, I'm now in this country, and you can link it to whether it's summertime or not. Then the date and time you set. The date format, I've got it set in day, first, month, second, year, last, but you can reverse that order if you want. Zoom record display, I've got that on there. So when I'm actually recording, the display will actually tell me how far I'm zoomed in. And then there's an iOS lock display there as well. The external display I've got set to simple. So if you put it into a TV, it comes up just with what's on the screen. Whereas if you have it set to detail here, you can have all the details exactly as we see on the small screen. Economy, I've got the battery set to economy on. The economy set to AC. I don't have that mode set because obviously it's not using any extra power once it's plugged into the power point. And I have the alert sound on, which is the ping you hear. You can set it for on, loud, or off. I've just got it for on. And down again. The operation icons, there's 3 shortcuts that you can have on the side of the screen, and that shortcuts can be set there under the select operation icons. The power LCD, I've just got it set to normal. You can have it plus or minus 1. LCD, the brightness, you can adjust the brightness of the LCD. So I have it set fairly high because I record outside in the sun quite often. HDMI resolution, I've got that set to auto. VeraLink, the Panasonic TVs, you can automatically link your camera to the Panasonic TVs. I don't have one, but I've got it set to on. So in fact, I'll set that to off because I don't need it. I have to go back into the setup. The initial setup, which I did when we first got the camera, and then there's auto cursor position. Number reset. So the files are stored on the SD card in a certain number order, and they start with 00001 and continue right through. You can reset that number back to 00001. Format media, that is to empty the SD card once you've saved it to your other devices. The media status, that tells you how much is remaining on the SD card. I have used 0 space because I've just emptied it last night. And the version, you can update your version of the camera by plugging it into your computer. Demo mode, the demo mode should be set to off because we don't need it on. That just shows you how the system works. Same with the iOS demo, it shows you how it works, and the software info tells you what version you are actually running at the moment. We need to connect it to the computer to find that out. I think that's about it. Oh, the online manual. I'll leave a link in the description below for the online manual that I use, and you can set the language to whichever language you speak. There's a number of languages there, and I've obviously got English. Exit out of that, and all your settings are done. I have to turn this off. This was in record mode. This was level, gauge, set to off. Perfect. It's as simple as that. So guys, that's a quick look at the setup on this camera. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them if I can. So guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel if you wish. I'll be leaving a few more of these how-to videos over the next few weeks. So guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.